Welcome back to the Languages Pedagogy Podcast, the show where language meets life, learning meets research, and pedagogy meets power. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a question that is lining up classrooms, teacher forums, and tech labs alike. Chatbots and AI tutors. Friend or foe? Now, I want you to sit with that for a moment. Not just from the perspective of a teacher or learner, but from a human perspective. Because this question isn't just about technology. It's about trust. It's about agency. It's about power, pedagogy, and the very soul of education. So, let's get ready for this episode. I assure you it's going to be really interesting. And sit down, relax, get your coffee, your tea, or your cha, and let's get started.
Woo! Let's go!
Let's start with what AI promises, all right? It offers personalized instruction at scale. ChatGPT can tailor explanations based on your level. Duolingo's AI adjusts exercises based on your performance. AI writing assistants give real-time feedback. Voice-based AI tutors can simulate conversations at any hour of the day. 24/7 access, unlimited patience, data-driven recommendations. We're not just talking about futuristic fantasy anymore. This is happening now. Now, we're going to just get to know what AI can do. First, analyze student errors faster than a human teacher. Give practice activities immediately after a mistake is made. Simulate language immersion environments. Provide inclusive tools for students with disabilities or neurodivergence. And most exciting of all, it never gets tired. Yes, that sounds like a teacher's dream, right? But hold on. We gotta talk a little bit deeper. It's not that easy. And here we go with something that we gotta keep in mind. What AI isn't. An AI tutor can give you feedback, yes, but it doesn't know you. It doesn't feel the tension behind your silence or the spark in your eyes when you finally get it. AI doesn't read between the lines the way a good teacher can. It doesn't adapt to context, meaning cultural, emotional, situational, the way a human being does instinctively. We know it's intelligent. Let's put them in quotation mark, intelligent. But it's not wise. And in education, especially in language education, wisdom matters. You might say, but it works. I use AI every day and it's effective. And that's true. People use it. But the line between useful tool and educational replacement is thinner than we think. Let's not confuse automation with understanding. And this is something that we've already discussed here in the podcast. I don't know if you remember some episodes ago, I think in season 3, we had a really good conversation with one of the amazing teachers, Vicky Samuel. She's a wonderful teacher, and we were actually discussing what is it behind this AI situation, AI translation, and how it will actually change the worldview. So I'll ask you to go back to season 3 and listen to Vicky Samuel. She has a lot to tell us about AI and how she's actually using it now. All right, let's be fair. Chatbots and AI tutors are not the enemy. All right? Let's keep it clear. They're incredible at certain tasks, repetition drills, and pronunciation feedback. grammar correction and style suggestions, vocabulary expansion through contextual examples, helping students practice at their own pace. In fact, many introverted learners prefer practicing with a chatbot before jumping into a live conversation. And in classrooms with 30 plus students, having a digital co-teacher can be a blessing. So, AI tools are especially helpful, but for the following: homework support, independent learning, maybe test preparation, like TOEFL, IELTS, DELE, or HSK. Review after class hours, breaking down language barriers for refugee or immigrant learners. Yes, but we gotta keep it clear, all right? Because we can actually use it, and yes, it can support a lot and it can help us in many other tasks. But we gotta keep in mind that this is a technology that cannot think like the way we think, can't think at all. So we gotta double check. Let's make sure that what the AI is giving us is what we really need. Otherwise, we would be given wrong information, wrong exercises, or something that cannot be good for our learners or for you. So, AI can enhance education. It's a friend, but when used well. Alright, but here comes the twist. AI can also reproduce bias, undermine pedagogy, and dehumanize the learning experience. Keep these ones in mind. Bias in the training data. If AI is trained on biased language corpora, it can reinforce stereotypes or culturally insensitive language. 2. Over-reliance on feedback. Students start writing for the AI, not for real communication. The feedback loop can become mechanical, not meaningful. 3. Plagiarism and cheating. Students copy-paste AI-generated essays. Where's the learning? 4. Lack of emotional sensitivity. A student struggling with language due to trauma, anxiety, or, let's say, identity crisis won't find comfort in a chatbot. 5. Privacy and data collection. What happens to your learners' data? Who owns their progress logs? Good question, right? And let's not forget the human cost. If AI tutors become cheaper and faster than human teachers, what does that mean for employment? Are we heading into a world where educational institution says, why pay a teacher when we can buy a license? That, my friends, is the crux of the friend or foe debate. So, where do teachers fit into this evolving landscape? We're not being replaced. We're being repositioned. We're no longer the gatekeepers of knowledge. That's what the internet and AI have taken over. But we're still the curators of content, the facilitators of meaning, the mentors of mindset, the creators of connection. Think of it this way. The AI might correct your grammar, but the teacher explains why it matters in your context. The chatbot can simulate a dialogue, but the teacher reads your emotions and adjusts the conversation accordingly. Teaching is not just about content, right? It's about care. And care isn't programmable, right? Alright, now let's move on to real stories. Case study 1. A school in South Korea used AI chatbots to supplement speaking classes. The result? Students improved fluency, but reported feeling lonely and disconnected from peers. Case study 2. In Brazil, a public school gave each student access to an AI tutor. The teacher became the learning designer, reviewing AI-generated feedback and assigning human-guided tasks based on it. The blend worked beautifully. Case study 3. In Finland, a university tried replacing all language lab hours with AI pronunciation trainers. The outcome? Students improved their accent, but became less confident in live conversations due to lack of real interaction. And these cases show that AI can boost learning, but it can't replace relationships. And now we have to move on to something more ethical. All right? Let's move on to the ethical questions in AI language education. So, who builds these chatbots? Whose voices and values are embedded in the algorithms? Questions for you all. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Can we trust a profit-driven AI company to design tools purely for learner growth? What about low-income schools that can't afford AI subscriptions? Are we creating a new digital divide? And what about when chatbots start teaching culture? Whose version of culture? Whose idioms? Whose slang? Whose worldview? We must stay vigilant, not just as educators, but as citizens of this AI-shaped world. So, what's the way forward? Think of AI as a co-teacher, all right? Let's talk to teachers now. You plan the pedagogy. The chatbot handles the mechanics. You bring the empathy. The AI brings the repetition. Let AI be the assistant that amplifies your impact, not the replacement that erases your presence. And here's what a healthy AI integrated classroom could look like. 1. Chatbots for warm-up activities. 2. Teacher-led group discussions to deepen concepts. 3. AI feedback on homework. 4. Peer reviews guided by prompts from chatbots. 5. Teacher check-ins to provide personal insights. When blended intentionally, AI becomes a scaffold, not a substitute. Now, before we close, let's hear some voices, fictionalized or based on real listener messages we've received. As a working mom, AI tutors helped me stay consistent, but I still needed a real teacher to challenge me. This one's Sofia from Argentina. I used ChatGPT to practice my job interview in English, but it couldn't give me feedback on my nervousness. My teacher did. This is Lucas from Germany. AI helped me with vocabulary, but I learned confidence from my teacher. This is Ming from China. So, are chatbots and AI tutors a friend or a foe? Here's my answer. They are tools, and tools become what we make of them. Used with purpose, AI can empower learners and teachers alike, but used without reflection, AI can flatten learning into a robotic experience, void of joy, humanity, and connection. So let's not fight against AI, but let's also not blindly trust it. Let's collaborate with it. Let's stay informed, intentional, and above all, let's stay human, right? Let's keep that human interaction. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful force in language learning isn't AI. It's empathy. And thank you for joining me in this conversation today. Let's keep asking the hard questions, keep testing new tools, and keep putting learners at the heart of everything we do. Until next time, keep questioning, keep adapting, and keep speaking. Keep exploring and keep growing.